There you are.
I was just saying congratulations because every single song is just it. They all, you know, they pack such an emotional punch, but such a melodic punch as well.
Thank you. That means so much. Seriously.
What I was immediately struck by was the way that it's sequenced. It feels like you're telling a chronological story in order from Next Girl to Day One. Was that the intention?
I never sought out to write like a concept album, but I feel like I kind of did. And so it was important for me to kind of, even though I didn't write the songs in this particular order, I felt like these songs needed to go in this order. So I'm glad that
Yes.
you picked up on that.
It was the first thing that occurred to me. Even you know, you couldn't have put Day One anywhere else but on the final track of the project, could you? Struggling with the Wi-Fi a little bit, I think.
That's where I'm at.
Oh yeah. Um, let's start with the title track because 29 is such. I mean, all the songs are so honest and open and vulnerable. Did you find it hard being that open?
I feel like I get this question a lot. You know, I don't feel like it's any different than what I've always done in the sense of every little thing was completely my story. I hope you're happy now was my apology to someone. Yes, sure. Is it a little bit more it's interesting to have people know what has happened to you in the last year?
Yeah.
But it's truly, I feel like fans would have been able to tell if I wasn't being honest. And so I decided to just do what I always do, don't put that pressure on myself, and just write. And that's what I did.
And it's really paid off. The lyric that stands out for me, the lyric that stands out for me in 29, which I want to talk to you about, is it's the year I was going to live it up, but I'm never going to live it down. Do you honestly feel like that? Because I feel like everybody is Team Carly these days.
I think that in a thank you for saying that. But in a way, when you go through something so public, like it's like on my Wikipedia page that I was married. Like you Google me, like let's say I date somebody else, like they'll forever see those photos and I'll forever, that was a part of my journey. And so in a
Oh,
lot of ways, I think you'll always, you may not, I don't think it defines me, but I definitely think there's an aspect of it of like everybody else is always going to know, you know, that was a
yeah.
part of my journey.
And picking up on that, I was going to ask at the end, but it seems more appropriate now. I can see when you're singing 29 in 10 years' time, when you're 39, will it bring back bad memories or will it just be a phase in your life that's giving you these wonderful creative songs?
I mean, it was the hardest time of my life for sure so far.
Yeah.
But I think something that it did do that I'll carry on forever is show me that even in the depths of like where you think you can't take another breath, you can. And I think I'll be able to look back on it as like the defining moment for so many things for me. And hopefully by then I'm happily married and am just like so understanding of like why that happened to me.
Yes. And you even say, I think in the last line of Day One, you'll be someone I knew if I just get through Day One, as if you're closing the chapter down.
Yeah, I'm there.
um, I know busbee is irreplaceable, but you seem to have found a real team with Shane and Joss that might take you forward. You know, have you found some closure and some healing there as well?
Yeah, I honestly feel like busbee held my hand right into finding this particular situation. And just because you're into lyrics, Shane and I actually wrote If My Name Was Whiskey on my first album together. And that was such a huge song for my creative side that I wish could have been a single. So it almost was like, and busbee put that right together. It all just felt so meant to be. And I have to say, like, in the first 2 days that we were writing together, we wrote Next Girl. And it was just like, these guys come from the same era of country music that I did, and they understand me on a level that maybe busbee was never even going to understand. But I had to have busbee to then get me to this position. So it all felt meant to be.
Yes, I can see that. The lyrical cleverness that someone like Shane McAnally can bring to your writing and the way that you spark off each other seems to be really where you're going in this next phase.
I came to him with Next Girl, the title and the concept, and he literally said, "I know what happens next, girl." And I was like, "And this is why you write hit songs." Great. I brought him the title Liability and the idea, and he helped me with that. It's just like those two, and Josh too. I mean, it's wild. It's no secret why they own the radio.
Yes. The first time I listened to Liability and I heard the pause between lie and ability, I was like, get in.
I remember being like, this is either gonna suck or they're gonna think it's the coolest thing ever. And Shane like jumped up on the couch when I said it.
Yes. And the way that you rhyme it with I ability in the next line is just genius. Suffering
There you
from
are.
Oh, I think the Wi-Fi keeps freezing. So I love Liability, and the difficulty you're going to have with this project is releasing the songs to radio. Messy seems like one that could go to radio because I think it's going to resonate with a lot of people.
You know, and what's interesting is I don't even know that another single will come off of this music. I may go to something completely different. I think creatively, we're all under the understanding this was a creative thing that needed to come out for me, but we are already working on what will go next to radio.
Oh wow, okay, that's great. So you've got lots more songs up your sleeve.
So many.
That's good to hear. How did you come to work with Matt Ramsey on day one?
Day one was actually an idea Josh and Matt had started for Old Dominion and they never finished it. And so I came in and kind of femaled it up. And yeah.
I love that. Who's the male backing vocal on that song?
Throughout the entire project, it's Josh Osborne, and he is ridiculous.
Right. Okay. It suits you. In a different twist, which is not the story that you're telling on day one, but in a different twist, I could see Charles and Hillary doing a duet back and forth on that song.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I love the guitar solo that explodes in there as well, which is not something that we're used to hearing from you per se all the time, is it?
I know, no. And in the studio, they had him just kind of rip on it, and it was like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah, I love that, and it's so the the lyrics. What you've done with the project is create a real cinematic tale of your last year. And the first three times I didn't really listen to the songs because I was just so involved in the lyrics. And as a songwriter, you got to take some real pride in that, I think.
I do. I feel like being nominated just as a songwriter for I Hope You're Happy Now, and knowing that that was my story really gave me like the confidence going into this project of like, okay, I know that I can do this. And I'm really proud of this being the first time that I've written everything.
You should be. Yeah, you should be. And it, you know, and keeping the music a bit more on the traditional side with the banjos and the fiddles as well is a very refreshing sort of nod to the past, but to the future of where you're going.
Thank you. I definitely, I love country music and I want to be a country music artist, a purist. So I feel like this project of that.
And on the two songs that are sort of specifically about Michael, or sort of Should Have Known Better and Liability, you really pull no punches, which is fair enough. Do you ever get any kickback from his fans at all, or have you had feedback from his family and the people that you got to know?
Um, you know, I think that what I've learned through going through something public is everybody has an opinion about kind of everything, and you just have to focus on your um, truth in it all, and try to not. Everybody's going to say something about something.
Yeah. And you must have got good at ignoring the trolls on social media and water off a duck's back.
I mean, it's hard. But yeah, you have to just remember that God knows the truth, you know the truth, Your family knows the truth, your friends know the truth, and that's enough.
Yeah. Well, listen, this is going to be a huge release for you, and I'm so thrilled that people have taken to it so much. So, I hope it propels you through the year, and then we get another project or another EP by the end of the year as well.
You will.
Thanks ever so much, Carly, for your time today, and we're always grateful to speak to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.